Welcome back in, y'all, and happy Sunday to you here. It is good to see you as always. Um, not a lot to talk about today, and got a few things to show you. Um, I am basically coming off of some projects that I worked on. I got more coming up here. I'm going to show you one of those before I get back into some more projects that we give away. And I do believe that I am going to be going on to making some of the tobacco trays, like I talked about, I believe, last video. I haven't done them yet, so I'm kind of excited to do one. I'll probably do a couple, maybe. And we'll give those away. Maybe do one in brown, one in black, and then we'll go ahead and tool the winner's names in the tray itself. We'll talk about that too here a little bit. But today I am smoking my Bing's Favorite by Savinelli. This pipe, I believe, needs no real introduction. It is known basically within the community. And this one here is rusticated. It is brown. And I really like this pipe. It's just a wonderful pipe to smoke, always is. And anytime I am smoking this pipe, it's almost mandatory that I smoke the Crooner, and that is by Cornell and Deal. Now, they say that this is a blend that was shared with Cornell and Deal to that Bing himself used to frequently smoke. Let me get it lit up here, and then we're going to go ahead and read the description on the back here for those of you that don't know, and tell you about that one. But first off, I did get my new lighters in, y'all. I went ahead, like I talked about, I was getting tired of all the fancy lighters, running out of fuel so much, all my, fancy lighters. My Zippo, it does good, does well. Probably better on fuel than these butane. These butane guys, they go through fuel a lot. But I told you I was, the Bic lighters, they just run and run and run. And so I found these lighters that are made in, I believe it said France, but they're made by D Jeep. Now maybe it's De Jeep. I don't know in French. I don't speak French, y'all. Ich spreche Deutsch, aber ich spreche nicht Französisch. But yeah, so made by De Jeep, and it's basically like a Bic lighter, but it's a little wider. And I don't know. For me, I thought a little wider meant it fit better in the hand, maybe. And just every single time, just lights up, y'all. Just no problems. And now I do like the lighters that run to the side. A lot nicer when you're lighting up the pipe. These here, you kind of have to turn over on their ends as you're lighting the pipe. But they work just fine. They work just fine. And I got 4 of them. I think they were like $12. 4 of them. And they should last me quite some time. Of course, they got that little child-proof little area on them right here, which I quickly go into my toolbox, whip out my pick, and I pull that thing off on most of them. This one here's a brand new one, so I haven't picked it off yet. But I do like them, and I'll probably be sticking with this style of lighter here, at least, as an everyday lighter. Now, I got my fancy ones still, and I'll probably keep them around so I can look fancy. So I can look like I'm professional, look like what I'm doing, know what I'm doing. But these guys right here, these will be the ones that I'll use. And today I am using my tamper that Mr. Mark Cox made for me. I really enjoy this tamper. Really nice. It looks like deer horn on the top of it. Nice little spoon area there where you can scoop things out. And it's made out of a 308 spent round. Really enjoy this tamper. It's a great little tamper. Works great. And it's always on my desk. But let's go ahead real quick and tell you all about this crooner. Um, Says it's a specially cut cube style burley and deer tongue tobacco. The crooner is an authentic copy of Bing Crosby's private blend. It was shared with us by one of his closest friends, it says here, from cornelanddeal.com. So, um, yeah, it's an interesting flavor here, y'all, and I can only imagine. So we all know what the burleys taste like. We all know that a nice nuttiness. Some even explain it as to be a small creaminess in the background, and I see that. But the deer tongue is the main tobacco in the show here. And how do I know that? It's because it's not burley. I don't taste the burley. What I'm tasting is something else, so I can only imagine that it would be that deer tongue. Now, um, I don't. Every palate is different. I don't know how each of you would explain how deer tongue tastes along with the burley. Um, but to me, deer tongue in this case has a slight sweetness to it. It's a slight sweetness. Um, but what flavor that sweetness is, I can't place it. It is definitely unique. If you like trying blends that are really hard to explain, hard to challenging to figure out, well, then I would definitely recommend this crooner by Cornell and Dill. Um, and maybe someday it'll just hit me as I'm smoking it what I believe it the flavor is. Um, I suppose if I took some time and researched deer tongue tobacco, maybe somebody would have a nice explanation as to what it is. But right now, I choose to just wonder in my own mind what it is. But yeah, so Bing Crosby, his favorite pipe, so they say, Savinelli, Bing's favorite, and the crooner is what I am smoking today. But yeah, if you remember back about, I don't know, 3, 4 videos back, I want to think, I had asked y'all to submit email some pictures of your pipe hobbies. Maybe you've gotten into making stems, you've gotten into making pipes, maybe you've gotten into making wraps, and so on and so forth. All things pipe exclusive. And let's go ahead and share it with the channel, share it with the people, and show off your work. Well, today I do have a small treat for you, and that would be some items that Mr. Glenn Moon, one of our viewers here on the channel, has shared with us, and the wonderful things that he's just going to town, y'all. I mean, this guy is just going to town, making all kinds of stuff, um, and it looks like he's having a lot of fun. And so I got some wonderful pictures here to show y'all. Let's get there now. So right here are some items that Mr. Glenn Moon emailed to me to show me his progress and things that he's doing. And I asked his permission, can I go ahead and show him off on the channel? And he said, yeah, go ahead, do what you want. So nice things here, y'all. I have yet to do a stem like this. And I think it'd be really fun. Of course, I don't have a pipe with a square shank like this or a diamond-shaped shank, mortise, tenon, whatever. And but he does, and I think that's really interesting, really nice. He's got some great characteristics in the stem going on here. I want to say it's a brown caramel color with some nice swirl and shimmer in there. Good piece of acrylic. And he seems to have matched it up really nice with the shank of this pipe. And that is a great picture right there. Um, let's go on. Here's another one. And now this one here, a little bit longer on his bent, um, hmm, maybe a bent apple. I can't quite make it out. But he's got this, looks like a silver gray and black going on there with some pearl. So he's got a lot of stem work going on here, y'all. And that one looks good too. So let's go on. Here's a nice one. This one's got some, almost like a backwards 7 on this one. This piece of acrylic, and that's a nice little button end on there. You can really tell the button there. Looks really good. Runs up close to the shank here. So it would have been cool if that was a 7, a frontward 7. I don't know what, the normal 7, but it's a backward 7. Looks pretty cool there. Looks really nice. Got some silver shimmer just in the background of that black. Looks great. Great piece. Now here is a piece of acrylic that I am well acquainted with. I really enjoyed this. I got a piece of this acrylic and I made a shank, a stem, a P-lip out of it. If you all recall a couple of videos back, and I gave it was for the Cobb, and I made it for Mr. Mark Cox. And that one turned out really nice. So as soon as I seen this piece of acrylic, I said, yes, there we go. Like that one. Really like the burgundy and the yellows that seem to pop out in there, real bright yellow. Looks really well, but seems like Mr. Glenn Moon is just having all kinds of fun. He made this Lazy Susan pipe rack, y'all. I'm kind of jealous. Look at this thing. This thing looks great. I don't know how many pipes you can put on this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on top and possibly 8 on the bottom of this thing. So he says he made this. And so what's really neat is how he took a piece of raw wood and put it in the middle as the middle holder for this. And I think that's great how he incorporated it. He didn't sand it down and stain it. He left it basically raw, and then of course probably put a nice shiny clear coat on it or a varnish, whatever. But that just, adds a lot of characteristics to this pipe rack. Looks great. Looks wonderful, y'all. I think that's great. And the Lazy Susans are always great because you can just spin it around. It rotates, and grab the pipe that he's wanting to smoke at that moment, and there you go. But that one right there looks great, y'all. I might make one someday. Looks really good, Mr. Moon. Here's some more. Well, Mr. Moon's off and making a P-lip here. Look at that. Doing really well there. Looks good. Looks real good. Looks like some dark reds with some blacks in there. That's a good looking stem right there. No bend, just nice, straight there on what maybe is possibly a billiard or a Canadian. But looks great there. Here is one of my favorite pictures that he sent, y'all. When I saw this, now I've seen a lot of people, play with the Cobbs and modify their Cobbs and do things to them. I've done them myself personally. I never would have thought to do what he did. This is my favorite spot in the whole thing. He has a spent round here. I don't know what round it is. Doesn't matter. Still looks great. But used a spent round as the shank for the stem. That is the coolest part about this thing. I like it. It looks great. Looks really good. And he chose to leave it just the normal brass color. I suppose a person could paint it if they want, but why do that? We got a piece of spent brass right there, and that looks like the main person in the show right there. And then of course it looks as if he stained or painted the Cobb black itself with a nice black stem. Looks really good. That looks like a really fun pipe to have created, and then later on continue to smoke. Looks really well. But that was my favorite right here. Got a nice little short stem right here going on with this. Looks like he made multiple stems for each, for 1 or 2 pipes here. This was looks like the same pipe. Doesn't matter. Still looks like a great stem here. Um, but Mr. Moon is off and running, y'all. He's doing a lot of fun work there. I can only imagine he's having a good time there in his garage and making all kinds of fun things there for the pipes. Good stuff. But these are the things I enjoy seeing, y'all. I enjoy seeing uh, other people's work and how, the fun that they're having. And then, of course, being able to share all that work here on the channel and let you all see what people have done. As you recall, we did show some of Mark Cox, his leather work and things that he's done, along with his tamper, which I told you I'm using today. And but that is what it's all about, y'all. I would like to do more of this show and tell, like I said I wanted to call it. So if any of y'all out there have experimented, anything that has to do with, like I said, the pipe exclusive, maybe you've made a pipe wrap, maybe you've made some stems, maybe you've made a pipe, maybe you've made just a rest for your pipe, maybe you made a tobacco tray or a tobacco pouch, whatever it might be, and you want to show it off, just go ahead and email me and I will put them up, announce that you are the maker, and give, of course, you all the credit. But it is fun to look at what the community is doing in their garages and right there in their own homes for their pipe hobby. So once again, this was all the work from Mr. Glenn Moon. He is out of Washington, there on the west coast of the United States, and he is definitely having a good time. Let's get on back to the talking screen. But I do have one thing. I made a new pipe wrap this last week. I didn't take pictures of it. It was for somebody. I've already sent it off. I use that same material that I just made my uh, new pipe wrap out of. So basically, y'all, uh, you've seen what the material looks like. It's different than mine, but I sent that one off already. I should have probably taken pictures and showed y'all, but I didn't. I sent it off. um, Let me get this lighted up a minute. I'll show you another project that I just finished yesterday. And then I'm going on to a new one, a new project. Before I get into those tobacco trays, um, actually a project I've been putting off for a little while, but we're going to get into it, and I'll show you the material that I'm going to be using and talk about that for a moment. Yeah, that deer tongue, y'all. It's someday I'll figure it out. Maybe it definitely is interesting. It goes pretty good with coffee though. So I had uh, one of my one of my brothers out of Canada who had been asking for a stem for quite some time, and we talked about it. And I know a couple of you have been asking, and I, of course, um, a couple of you have emailed me. Of course, I emailed back, but I haven't heard nothing from you. But a brother from Canada, we actually did some correspondence back and forth, and he wanted a stem. So I made this stem for him. You know who you are, sir. And I finished it, and it came out wonderful, y'all. It came out so good, and I'm excited for him to see it. It looks so good. Um, he wanted a purple one, and yeah. Mm. Let me go ahead and show it to you, y'all. It's for the cob, of course. It's right here, and it is purple, and it's got the slightest of like a silver shimmer in it, with some deep blacks towards the base of the stem. Um, just a slight bend in it, but it looks just wonderful, y'all. Just wonderful. It is a P lip, nice P lip there. Looks really well. Looks just, it's got a lot of character in this stem. And I had a lot of fun. You know, when you first pick up a block of acrylic and you start turning it, pull up a piece here real quick. So, for instance, here is a piece of just raw block of acrylic. And you look at it and you see that there's, you know, things going on in it, but you never quite know what's going to happen until you turn it down. How much of it will you turn away, and what will be revealed on the inside, which becomes the stem. Because as you can tell, the block is much thicker than the stem when it's done. So as you turn the block down, then you know, there's sometimes I'll be turning a block and I'll think, oh no, that nice spot right there is getting turned away, as it, you know, is the materials being stripped away, getting down to where I need it to be to build the stem. And there's certain areas that, you know, I kind of, you know, get a little sad because the little area looks really nice, but it had to go because, you know, the stem's got to be made. But this one here has a lot of great characteristic. Got a nice black area towards the bottom of the shank, um, and a nice. It's got a just a great shimmer in this one here too, y'all. You see it, it looks kind of a nice and dull purple, but then as you turn it into the light, the shimmer just kind of comes alive right there. Just comes alive and then goes back dull. So it's got a lot of, I'm going to call it mysterious characteristics. Um, and I really like this stem. I hope he enjoys it. We're going to get that out to him soon. But it looks really well, y'all. I really like the way this one turned out also. Um, but you know, that's just the way it goes. And every time I look at a stem or at a block, I try to see the characteristics within it. This one's not showing us too much, but there's certain things that you'll see and you try to pick out, you know, which would be a good place for the button end or the P-lip end, which is going to give me the most color, the most characteristic, and then of course which side will be the end that goes into the pipe. Um, and you try to choose the best point for that to happen. And sometimes, you know, of course, I like to see a lot of your characteristics throughout the stem and not so much at the end. Um, in the case of this one, you see a lot of it throughout the whole stem. But there's a lot more blacks going on down here towards the bottom. I'd rather see a little more black happening here, but there's a small amount of black at the very end of the stem. And then we go into this nice purple shimmer, and then we get some black again. So you never quite know, and that's the adventure of it. So you're turning down a piece, and you're never gonna know what it's like until you get to the end, and then you finally pick it up and say, "Well, there it is." Um, the stem wanted to be seen in that manner, and it's the same thing with everything I build, y'all. You know, I look at some material, and I sit there and I'll study it. And a lot of times I'll light up a pipe and I'll just look at the material, and I'll try to picture in my head what's going to happen there with that material. What is that material saying to me? It's wanting to be built a certain way. And of course, I keep the person's thoughts in mind. In the case of Mr. Greg Tunnel, I am starting on his church warden case here soon. And yesterday I took a trip to the leather shop and bought some specialty leather just for his case. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you a little preview of his material that we'll be using on his, and I'll go ahead and take pictures and keep you all in the loop on that before I send it out to him. So Mr. Greg Tunnel from the Tunnel Take. Some of you may watch his channel. If you don't, give him a try. It's the Tunnel Take. They're on YouTube. He wanted something out of alligator. And we had mulled over a bunch of different options and colors and sizes. And we finally came down to what he decided was going to be right for him. And we chose this material here. And it's got a lot of great alligator characteristic to it. Now, this is not true alligator. This is embossed leather, but it's Ipanema leather. It's just really nice leather, and it smells so good, yo. I've been working with leather for quite some time now, and no matter how many times I smell fresh leather, it just smells so good. It smells so wonderful. And when I walk into the leather shop and you open the door and just all the leather just hits you in the face, I still like it, y'all. It's a wonderful smell to me. But this is the material that I will be making Mr. Greg Tunnel's church warden case out of. And as I progress within it, I'll go ahead and show you all some pictures and then show you the finished product before I send it out to Mr. Greg Tunnel himself. But either way, y'all, like I said, always building something, always making something here, and it's good for my soul. It's good for me to create. It keeps my mind off of the day's worries and woes. Um, anything. It's therapeutic for me, and I really enjoy just making things. And when I get done, I like to sit back. I like to look at it, enjoy what I have created, and maybe I just think it's so. And maybe I think it looks wonderful. Either way, I got to create it, and I enjoy that so much. The best part about creating is when I'm able to give it away to somebody who appreciates it. I finally figured out how to make my tampers in what I consider very, very well done. So as you can see, I've got a new, we'll call it pick, a dottle pick, right in the end here. And it is perfect. It's got the right tension on it. Slides right out. You can take care of business and then put it back. In the past, when I've done this, the holes either been slightly too big or slightly too small, so it's really hard to get in, or it just pulls right out. This one here, the tension on it is perfect, just perfect, and turned out really well. We're going to be giving this one away too. But that's what it's all about. I enjoy making things. I enjoy sitting back and seeing the finished product, and then I enjoy giving them away to somebody who enjoys them, and then I move on to the next and just keep on creating. It helps me. It's very therapeutic for me, and it's something that I enjoy greatly. And I'm so glad that a lot of you have been able to receive those items and enjoy them also. It makes me happy to do that. But y'all, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care of yourself, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be getting into the tobacco trays here very soon, and we'll be giving those away. But y'all take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and until next time, we'll see you.